Jessica continues to follow her passion for growing strong and vibrant communities and focus on helping Indigenous communities within Alberta by working as an Indigenous community consultant and project manager for Urban Systems, which is a professional consulting firm. And I have faith that this is just the beginning of her leadership endeavors in enhancing our resource sector with Indigenous youth engagement, cultural understanding, and education outreach. She has played many roles by being a daughter, a mother, partner, sister, friend, mentor, colleague. I'm proud of Jessica's family, her dad Murray, her kids Katie and Matthew, yeah, I'm talking to you guys, and her partner Randy are here to celebrate with her today. What I most admire about Jessica is that she strongly believes and walks her talk about diversity, inclusion, continual learning and engagement, and she continues to strive to be a positive role model and influence for the engineering and science professionals. Jessica is the face of the future as she exemplifies what we want our leaders to go, and not only from where they come from. Her dedication to promoting Indigenous causes and programs, professional associations, and professional women in STEM and SET is exemplified as an innovator and mentor to others in her profession today. Please help me welcome to the stage Ms. Jessica Vandenberghe, ACR's 2018 Indigenous Resource Leadership Award recipient.
All right, good evening. I just want to say that everybody looks fantastic tonight. Very honored to be here today, and I humbly accept this award from the Alberta Chamber of Resources. I am no one special, just a human being full of fears and insecurities. I make mistakes and I fail, and I disappoint and hurt people, even myself. If you have read my bio, you will have heard that although biologically I am of the Dene-Ta tribe and full-blood Indigenous heritage, I was adopted and raised by a very inclusive German family in northern Alberta. I call this entire family my own and am grateful every day that my parents never once made me feel different. That wasn't always the case outside the home, even to today. I've been blessed with a sharp mind and an odd personality that loves and thrives upon spontaneity, yet finds comfort in joy and organization. My friend Sherry is very thankful for that. She works with me in the oil sands. She worked with me in the oil sands, rather. Because last minute when she needs a ball player to play in Anzac, she knows I'll jump in my truck, drive the 5 hours, and I'll have my ball glove, a full cooler, and a Bluetooth speaker in the pack. I was high school valedictorian, and Lynette went through some of my accolades, engineering degrees, and patents. I've also sat on national and provincial boards to influence standards, guidelines, regulations, and legislation. And I'm a living example of the capability of Indigenous people. Since I was a teenager, though, I've also been very intentional about facing and working through my fears. I don't want to be afraid anymore. I grew up with a fear of authority, a fear of abandonment, a fear of public speaking, a fear of swimming, and another of spiders, just to name a few. But I've worked on these and overcome some, and some will take a little bit more time. I'm now a somewhat confident public speaker. I can dive and swim underwater thanks to my kids. And spiders, though, I'm good up to about this size. So I'm getting there. I find my passion, though, is in building and maintaining relationships, as well as having and creating opportunities for others. My purpose is to serve others. If I can lend a hand, if I can help someone work through their fears and insecurities, donate $1, share what I have, help somebody by sharing and passing on what I've seen, experienced, or heard, I will. I will put in the time and effort if they will. Doing these things makes me very happy, and it always has. It is a choice, though, to take time away from myself and my partner, my kids and my family and my friends, and instead give that to strangers. Why do I do this? I do it to create hope. Because I've often walked alone. The little girl in the schoolyard that nobody picked to play with, the girl who cried herself to sleep, the only female engineer at some tables, and often the only Indigenous person. and those experiences weren't always pleasant. I don't know why people, even myself, behave the way that we do. What drives certain attitudes and behaviors, whether it is as individuals or in groups? Why have certain things happened to me? Is it because I'm female? I don't know. Is it because I'm Indigenous? Is it because I'm tall, an accordion player? I'm not too sure. No one stops to tell me. I do know that there are many factors in it though. Is it unconscious bias or prejudice or discrimination? I do know that sometimes it's not fair though, nor justified. I've traveled the world, and I do know that I'm very grateful to be living in this country. Canada has a lot of freedoms and natural beauties, and I make my home here in Alberta. Yet we aren't perfect. We fight province to province. We're still working on how to be inclusive to Indigenous communities to get them basic human rights like food, water, clothing, and shelter. But I do know that little things do make a difference. We see that tonight. I'm working towards a more inclusive world, and I know all of you are through your companies. The companies and organizations from the resource industry in this room know that diversity and inclusion, truth and reconciliation are essential for attraction and retention, for community collaboration, and economic partnership, to work towards strong, vibrant communities. This award shows that my over 20 years of volunteer work, from math tutoring to mentoring to job shadowing to teaching to conference and panel talks to outreach activities, role modeling, founding the Edmonton Business Diversity Network, and sitting on a ton of different boards and committees and councils have made a difference. That all those minutes spent have added up to something that someone has noticed. I'd like to thank Lynette especially for noticing and nominating me. We are kindred spirits, as she mentioned, two female science-based professionals who work in the construction and mining industries and who work towards gender inclusion in all the professions. I'd like to thank the ACR for noticing, and I'd like to thank all my employers that I've had today, who are all in this room tonight: Syncrude Canada, APEGA, and Urban Systems. I thank these companies for allowing me time to do all that volunteer work, and for some of them to even build it into my positions. And for those companies, they realize that it takes time to make a difference. Finally, I'd like to give a heartfelt thank you to my kids and my dad and my boyfriend who are here with me tonight. And I also hope, as my son Matthew would say, that my mom is spying on me tonight from heaven. I share this award with all of you. There are only 24 hours in a day, and I wish I could spend every second with all of you. I choose not to, and instead spend that on strangers, to bring hope and to make this world a little easier for someone else. I'm grateful that you understand that and for your patience, and I hope you feel that when we spend moments together, that those are moments that count. And I hope you understand that those moments away from you have added up and made a difference in this world. It won't always be like this. One day I'll hopefully have helped enough youth and up-and-comers that I can hang up my hat, but that time is not today. I'm truly humbled by this. No one's journey is easy, and mine is no exception. I'm having faith that I'm walking the path that was meant for me. And this world and this award comes at a time in my life, mid-career, where there's hundreds of things to do and a million worries. It motivates me and it inspires me and gives me hope for tomorrow. And I hope it does the same for all of you. To realize that when industry supports the small things, it can add up to a small step towards a stronger tomorrow. Thank you very much.